Welcome to the Huddle, your front row seat to Owosso's real estate plays and local highlights. Join us as we tackle the latest in home trends and commercial spaces, celebrate our neighborhood champions, and give you the straight scoop on the market. With a dash of humor and a playbook of expertise, we are here to help you navigate the field, whether you're buying, selling, or just enjoying the game. Tune in where real estate meets real talk and the community spirit soars big.
Very good, Brian. Very good. You have got the face for radio.
I was going to say that. Not to mention the...
All right. Hey, real quick before we get started, I want to introduce one of the newest members of our platform here, created by, I believe, by Bella and Tracy, Mr. Bones. Mr. Bones made the mistake of trying to sell his house by himself, and here he sits, waiting. Perhaps Mr. Bones should have called somebody from Homefield, Michigan Real Estate Consultants.
Is Bones his last name? I would feel it better if his last name was McCoy.
It could be Bill Bones or Ryan Bones or
he's dead, Jeff.
Oh well, I don't know the reference. Or I'm not catching the reference by the way you're looking at me.
Star Trek?
Oh no, I actually have no idea. No idea.
Not even the new Star Trek. I'm talking about the original one.
No, I went outside and played sports. So anywho,
welcome to the Huddle.
Welcome.
I'm keeping it clean, so I'm not doing a retort on that one because I had 3 comebacks, but I'm
glad I set the ground rules early.
Family friendly today.
Awesome. All right. Well, it seems like we're already warmed up and tuned up. However, we're going to start with our first segment called the warm up. So we're going to do some quick highlights about the past week and maybe even the last couple weeks because we've haven't convened in a few weeks. So Cody, you're to my left. Give us a quick win.
A couple days ago, I went and did a walkthrough on a new listing coming up. They're talking about listing in a couple weeks. Did a market analysis, and they came in right where they thought. So be a new listing coming up in about 2 or 3 weeks.
Ding 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 ding, winner.
So my win is that I've got one new listing currently, and I should have a second one this afternoon. And both of them I look at as wins because both of these people are transitioning to a new phase of life, and I get to help them through that. I'm just like, that's awesome.
All right. I think that deserves a... You can't hear it, but it's an applause. All right. Connor. Yeah, well, I got to have that too.
Well, I got some more parts in for one of my cars, so I'll start putting them back together.
All right. Connor the car man. We like it. Tracy.
I think a win for me this week would be hearing, I used to hear, well, I didn't know you did real estate because I'm kind of older entering into this game. But I'm hearing, wow, yeah, you do real estate. I've been hearing about you. I'm kind of gaining some momentum and people are aware.
That's awesome.
It is awesome. That is the best kind of momentum to have is momentum.
All right. I've got a new listing coming soon. Going to do a walkthrough on the 2nd. So it should be within a month-ish coming to market.
I didn't realize that it's not just you.
Sorry.
What?
You did nothing. You did nothing.
No, you didn't.
Oh, did you?
You did. She didn't realize she.
But while you were talking, and I had in my head, I didn't realize.
Boy, sorry. We've got to gain our composure here on the Huddle this morning. Bella, nice work.
Okay.
Nice work. That's awesome.
Yes. Good job. And I guess my win of the week is just going to be post-show. Just getting through this show is going to be have had some productive conversations as well with prospective clients, and it looks like the fourth quarter is going to be a good solid quarter, as we typically expect the quarter to be, fourth quarter to be. So, all right, we're gonna.
That was definitely good news.
Joe.
I have been waiting. I've been wanting to do that.
Just for the people that are not in the circle there, Brian posted can you recall it right off the top of your head what the words were to that?
It was like if my name was Jeff, I'd use words like definitely or I jeffed up all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, this is family friendly.
Sorry.
Well, I feel like Bella read that a few times.
She did, yeah. She liked it.
Honestly was laughing pretty good at it. I'm like, this is gonna be the new office slang.
Religiously, because she's like usually one of the first people that thumbs up or comments on it. Either her or mom, one of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do see Sean comment
Just
and laugh.
block it out.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. All right, we're moving on to the next topic. So, market updates and game plan. I'm looking for you guys to share the most relevant observations from the market, perhaps inventory or buyer demand, whatever it is. So let's. We're going to reverse things. We're going to go the other way around. We just did an Uno reverse, and we're going to go to Bella.
All right. Relevant data. I'm seeing more first-time home buyers in the area, like moving from Grand Rapids or Lansing into Owosso. At least my clients. I have a few clients.
Good.
So yeah.
That's a keen observation and a relevant one, I believe. Very good. All right, Mrs. Heslip.
I'm going to highlight keywords here: game plan. And it's not just, oh, I see a house, let's go look at it. You really need a game plan. You need somebody in the mortgage industry. You need to know so that you get offers in and they're very strong. Part of your game plan is calling us here at Homefield.
So, what is it about the current market that requires someone to have such a game plan moving in?
The current market? Well, the inventory, we have more buyers than we have houses for sale. So it's created a very competitive multiple offers. And you want that. You want your offer to be strong. You can't just, oh, let's go look at this house. I want to put an offer in and not have your ducks in a row. Your pre-approval.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I was looking for my duck sound effect, but I can't find it. Sorry. Very good. Connor, you got any input on market updates and a game plan?
Yeah, kind of just what Tracy said about low inventory and just being ready to buy. And when you find something that you like, just being ready, being competitive with your offer.
Amen.
So it was like, I would say beginning like Friday, I saw somebody turn up the dial. We went through a period the last couple weeks where it's been pretty quiet. And then all of a sudden somebody is cranking it up again. Just in the last 3 days, I literally picked up one new buyer per day and 2 new listings. So I think it's just like people are coming back in droves to the market. So I'm seeing I think it's going to be a fantastic October, November.
Very good.
Well, it is that time of year where things ramp up, and typically we're a couple weeks later than normal, I believe. But I'm seeing a lot of first-time home buyers since the interest rates come down, and I'm not seeing multiple offers, but I'm seeing first-time home buyers getting in and getting their chance at houses. I feel like it's kind of a balanced market a little bit right now. We have more inventory. It's still extremely low, but it's a little, listings are up. They're coming in regularly. Price reductions have slowed a little bit, but first-time home buyers are getting in and getting their chances. So now's the time to give us a call and get that game plan started.
It's right on par with where I wanted to go with this subject. But this is about finding openings in the market or opportunities for us to capitalize on, right? And so we've heard first-time home buyers a couple of times already from you guys. So perhaps our individual marketing efforts this week could be geared at home buyer or first-time home buyers. There seems to be an uptick on that, and we want to capture that. So think about that social media and conversations that you're having face to face. But what a great time it seems to be for first time home buyers, since the interest rates show signs of continuing to go down, and inventory is coming up a little bit. So think about that this week and for the next couple of weeks for marketing purposes for sure. So this is a great segue, or segue if you have only ever read that word and not
Seek.
not said it out loud. A conversation I've been having with my daughter, like randomly this past week, there's been like 4 or 5 words that she's never actually heard said out loud. So was
Like
it
stores.
or horse duvers? We're struggling to remember which one it was, but she stopped us in mid sentence. Wait, that's how that word's pronounced. So anyway, that was good segue into that part of the conversation. Let's talk a little bit about the listings that we currently hold. Does somebody have, something maybe not troubling, but it feels like a hurdle that they need to overcome to help this listing get sold or get more eyes? Are we struggling or anything like that?
My listings are not struggling getting eyes on. I've had a ton of showings on all listings. We've done price corrections when those were a normal thing. We're definitely within the ballpark of the feedback we're getting, and we're still struggling to come to an agreement. It's just
So good offers is what you would.
good offers would be the struggle. And this is about pricing the home correctly from the start, because the people that looked at it before originally, and then we did a price correction, may not come back. They may have found something else, and we may have lost that one buyer that we were looking at. I mean, I've had 20 some showings at least on every property I have listed.
Mm-hmm.
And so the demand's there. It's just coming up with the good offer.
Mm-hmm. So I think we talked about this last time we went on camera, but right now it appears that we're still, from a seller's perspective, needing to exercise a little bit of patience, and understand that this isn't the market of midsummer 2021. So a little bit of patience and allowing us to do the marketing and filter through the buyers and everything. Do you agree with that? A little extra patience required.
Little negotiating time,
Mhm.
because we are in negotiations, I think, a little bit more right now than we were.
I would agree with that as well. Buyers are feeling the breathing room to be able to kind of sit on it for a second and make sure that they're making a wise offer. Anybody else have any input or another example of a listing that?
I do. I have one that's actually surprising to me. I've got a listing on Pier Street here in Owosso that it's been listed for going on. Well, I think we're in our 4th week now, and we've had lots of showings, and I'm just a little confused by the lack of offers on it, because the pricing on it is fantastic for a first time home buyer or potential investor. Somebody might want to turn it into a rental property. It's a steal. But I don't know. We're getting lots of activity on it, just no offers. So working the best for my client. So we're just kind of hanging in there right now.
Okay. And it looks like we lost the camera to Bones, but I was going to ask Bones for some input. But I think Bones is the last person we want to ask for listing advice.
I don't think he's gotten any offers.
No, I think it's a little quiet and lonely over there for Bones. But anyway, anybody else? I'll talk briefly. I have a listing that one in particular that is more than double the average sale price in our area. It's probably way more than double the average size of a home in our market area. And right now I just want to say we've had, hey, there's our friend Bree. We not that we're struggling to get interest, because all the marketing numbers, the activity engagement is very solid. But it's also a very photogenic house, so the people want to look at those listings. But a few showings, and generally positive feedback. But again, I think this is another one of those examples where we just need to exercise some patience and persistence in marketing for sure. But it's just not the average home. It's
Sure.
quite above the
It's a
average home.
gorgeous house.
It is. Great setting.
Location.
Yeah, it is. And so, but it is, in speaking with the seller about this, about where we stand right now, it's when the media had spent so long talking about the um, chaos in the market, sellers' expectations are still with what the latest high drama news topic was, or how they spoke on it. So we've had to temper some expectations. The sky is definitely not falling on the real estate market by any means. It's still high interest, and everything's gonna be perfectly fine. But on the contrast, I want to talk about the other side of that. I have a listing that's um, less than half the price of example A, and showing activity has been very light on that listing. So again, and a very almost a polar opposite type listing as far as size and setting and that kind of stuff. But it turns out activity is high enough on that one where we'll see some success on it. So really, the other part of that is I think it's important to remember that it really only takes the right buyer, and if it's just one of those right buyers, that's okay, as long as they are um, willing to pay and agree to terms that are acceptable to the seller, obviously. But all it takes is one buyer, is my point. So all right, we'll move along from that topic. I think it's important for us to discuss not just the successes, but also our hurdles and some challenges. So let's move on then to some social media stuff, some marketing in general. Let's say marketing in general. But what has been successful for you? What has driven the most positive and amount of conversations for you in the last week or two?
I would say that it's engagement in community activities that has by far been the best way for me to reach out to people, not only to in person, but when people see that you're engaged with the community, they're more apt to come seeking you out. So last week was just, oh my gosh, we had 4 events, and it was bonkers for activity for downtown Owosso, and we've got some more stuff coming up. So I'm actively looking forward to more opportunities to engage people that way.
Good. Anybody else?
I'd say just persistence. I mean, social media, obviously, you got to stay consistent with it and persistent. So that's been the biggest thing for me that I struggled with over the years, but I've been a lot more persistent lately, and getting more engagement based on that.
Anyone else? What I would like to chime in with that is just remember our game as far as attracting business and growing our business is about being in front of people consistently and persistently. But the important part of that is at the right time, and you never know when that right time is necessarily. So that's why the persistence needs to be there and the consistency, because an individual could go from having zero interest in being in the real estate market, whether it's buying or selling, to one small or major life event, flip the switch, and now they're in the need for either to sell their house, buy a house, or both, or whatever it is. And we on our end can't predict it. Hell, they can't predict that. So it is about consistency and being there in the place at the right time. And it takes a multifaceted approach to make that happen. Uh, the in-person stuff, as we know, is huge. It's being with people is the absolute best way to be there, for them, with them, and then on the business side of it, to be there at the right time and be top of mind. There's nothing more unforgettable than actually spending time with people and being there with them. So the community events, And we talk about what we phrase as our top 50 as an opportunity to get face to face with individual people, and give them the attention that they deserve, and that will help them remember us when the time is right. And that social media and internet stuff is really just meant as sort of a fill-in for that. I didn't want to go to this direction with this topic, but I think it's funny. Going back about 10 years ago, I had some agents that I worked with at the time in another office, sort of jokingly or in jest, say that I built my business off of social media. I thought, what a mischaracterization that actually is. Just because I have a strong social media presence, to suggest that I built my business off of social media alone is just wrong. It's incorrect. But I thought it was kind of funny that that's the perspective they see. But of course, they can't see when I'm directly with my clients or with my my sphere of influence. Of course, they don't know that, and that's the beauty of it. Frankly, is it's a one-on-one or small group type setting that you are spending the time with the people that matter, and your competition doesn't have to know about that at all. And we don't have to tell people about it. We don't have to virtue signal. Look what we do. Look what we do.
I have the discussion and the consultations one-on-one with my client on what I will do for them.
Absolutely.
Because every situation is different too.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I kind of wanted to add onto your piece, and actually Cody's piece as well, is the fact that we were talking about engagement as far as buyers and sellers go, potential clients. But actually, I've had some great interactions with competitors this week, even other agents out there in the field, and I'm getting feedback from them what they think the market's doing. I'm getting the inside scoop on upcoming listings and things like that. And by collaborating with them, we have a much more cohesive environment for us to work and better help our sellers and buyers. So by creating those relationships, and like I said, I had some phenomenal interactions with other agents this week that just I could go on for probably a half an hour talking about those conversations, but they were very fruitful.
Good. All right. I think that covers that topic very well. Moving on to the next one, overcoming challenges. So I kind of want to talk about any problems, not necessarily with a listing or maybe with a buyer, helping them solve their problems or whatever it is. But if you're seeing any kind of challenge in your business right now, and maybe let's make ourselves a little bit vulnerable on camera. But if there's something at all in this business you're struggling with, whether it's to get more clients, whether it's to successfully close or work with a particular client, obviously we're going to leave out names and addresses and whatnot, but anything at all that you want to discuss and see if there's something the group can help you overcome.
Something that's top of my mind is because I've been doing a lot of contemplation lately, especially with the downtime we've had over the last couple of weeks, is the fact that I'm an extroverted introvert. I love to engage people, but my social meter pegs out at sometimes, and I've just got to back away. And so I need to work on that myself because I really need to be out there engaging people. I can't be concerned about making cold calls if I've got to, or going out and door knocking if I have to. So I like to have those warm interactions where I kind of have introductions and stuff, and those have a tendency to work well for me. But I need to work on the, meeting and greeting new people on my own, I guess I should say.
With whatever social battery you have left in the tank.
Pretty much, yeah.
And that's happens to be a challenge of mine as well. It's not a surprise, huh? And it is. I don't have a huge solution for you other than, and perhaps I'll have to be one of those guys that takes my own advice on this, but mindfulness and mental health and self-care, I think, charges your battery and allows it to last longer. If you're, in times that you're not in those social settings, that you're doing the things to recharge and take care of yourself, it makes those social events and everything a little bit easier. I personally have observed that in myself, and perhaps I'll I'll work on that again.
Me as well.
Well, I mean, one of the challenges I have personally that I've always struggled with, and even when I told my wife I was getting my real estate license 10 years ago, she looked at me, she's like, really? I struggle with initiating conversation with whether it's my friend group, business, door knocking. I don't so much.
No,
I
you
don't
don't.
struggle with that, but because it's not that I have a script, but I have a plan. Otherwise, just sitting and conversating with people, I struggle. Or initiating conversation. You know, if everybody says, well, try to hand somebody your business card every time you go to the grocery store or whatever. I struggle with it.
Mine's kind of opposite of that. Mine is when we go door knocking, sometimes I'll choke, even though I know what I'm going to say. But starting conversation up in gatherings, yeah, I don't struggle with that unless I'm like,
I don't know why I struggle. It's just, you just ask questions.
just the awkwardness, yeah.
It's just like
But-
normal every day. You just ask
Exactly.
questions, but I struggle with it.
Yeah.
Well, I think the only thing I have to offer from perspective, just how to look at it differently, is we know that personal relationships are the best way to handle life in general, but in our business, those personal relationships are important. So when you are in a position to discuss or to have a conversation with somebody, I think that the last thing we want to do is say, hey, you don't know me, but here's my business card, call me.
Right.
That's not us. I think we all agree in this room that is not us. We are people first before we're real estate agents. And so I think it really is, if you have a genuine interest in someone and what they have going on in their life, that goes further than any other thing. So
Absolutely.
So it's not, I think maybe if you have a goal of, and we're going to actually, one of our last topics is kind of goals for the week. So, but if you have a goal to, in theory, hand out a business card to one person, every time you go to the grocery store.
No, that was just a weird example.
Well, but so
just engaging in conversation, like I said, even with like just networking.
Yeah. Well, so I think that's it. The secret to it, in my opinion, is your goal in networking should be to learn more, as much as you can, about somebody else that in that scenario, networking event, whatever it is you're doing. And the only way to really do that is start asking questions. And we know that.
Yep.
Ford is the answer to that, right? So in dominating the conversation by letting someone else do the talking because you're asking the questions. And that, for me, that's how I have to view it, because for me, the part that's tiring is doing the talking. Where if you are handling that conversation properly, you're just asking questions, and so I need to have that in my head as well. That
I think I overthink it and was like, well, that's a stupid question. So I don't ask it.
Yeah, I'll do that. Or I'm like, oh, I don't want them to think I'm being pushy or not genuine.
I'm not even talking conversation with business. I'm just in conversation in general. I just struggle with it.
And
I always have.
I same. I'm not saying out loud that I haven't experienced myself, but I actually read a book called "Change Your Questions, Change Your Life," and it's a kind of a story about how changing the way you approach conversations and what questions you ask and how you ask them can have a profound effect on your relationships and your success in life in general. So you have to be very, very, very intentional about being that person that asks questions, as opposed to being the person that wants to talk all the time. But being comfortable asking the questions is the next level of that. Perhaps I'll share that book and you can.
I'll read it.
It's an interesting, and there's a ton of books on that same topic, but this one I thought was a
Cliff Notes version.
on
audiobook.
Maybe on audiobook. I don't know.
Do an interpretive dance.
Play clarinet and do an interpretive dance.
Well, I think too, like in a social setting, like if we're out to dinner, let's say, like because we have the shop, so people see Jim and they're like, "Oh, that's my mechanic," and they bring up a problem they have with their car. You know, and you think of like a doctor, you see somebody out, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, doc," you know. And our industry kind of has a little bit of a black cloud salesperson-y, so we're not that, "Oh, yeah," you know. So I think just the industry alone is a little bit, people don't want to approach us in a social setting. So that, I mean, that's a hurdle. I think that we need to, it doesn't matter if you're good at conversation or not.
I see that as
People-
well.
They
Yeah.
want to turn, they kind of turn away because they're like, "Oh, we don't want to," you know.
I don't want to get stuck talking to them.
Well, people will come up to me and be like, "Sorry, Cody, I don't have a house to sell right now," and I'm like, "That's not all I'm about.
My
Yeah.
gosh.
I'm a human. Like,
Mhm.
I love to golf. I love to deer hunt. Love to fish. I love my family. Talk to me about anything. I'm really an open book."
Yep.
But at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, like, "Cody, I don't have a house to sell," and then they like shy away from me. I'm like, yes, I am a real estate agent. I am now a broker, and people
I'm a
still,
broker too. Oh no!
Yeah.
You meant licensed.
and
see,
people do. They're like, and they're like, yeah, and they shy away from
Yeah.
me, and I'm like, okay.
it's a stigma.
So there's car salesman over there in that corner. There's Cody over there in that corner, and everybody over here socializing.
And then the guy and whoever sells Medicare, Medicaid packages or whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I try to overcome that stigma because there are a number of people that I know struggle with that, and I will actually engage them. And I will not, I mean, I'll engage them on a personal level as opposed to, I mean, nothing related to real estate. And so I have a lot of Facebook friends, Instagram friends, and those people, when I see them, I shouldn't say those people, the people that I'm friends with on social media, when I see them out in public, I will try to ask them specific questions about something maybe personal that they posted recently. Like, hey, how's your dad doing after the surgery? Oh, did you get the job interview? I saw you were concerned about that.
Did you ever get rid of that rash?
Are you asking me?
No, I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
as an example. No, as an example.
Yeah, that wouldn't be possible with me right now.
Why? Because you can't get rid of that rash?
Thank you.
Or is it more of a
This
fungal
package
thing?
hasn't come in the mail yet.
That's what it is. That's exactly the problem. My package is coming to me.
Well, and I think too, like,
Okay. I'm not sure.
So
what
goals-
else needs.
So goals and accountability. My goal.
Hi, Tracy. You were about to say something?
I have gotten emails
Jeff's going, dang it, I got to edit that part out now.
through the shop webpage asking about specific repairs. And I'll follow it up. Yes, we can help you with that. Can you call the shop and talk to one of the mechanics? And their response is, I cannot. I have phone anxiety. So at first I was like, okay, is this a thing? Like, is there a generation that, we're talking about, being unapproachable, or people that like that there is a true like social anxiety that people can't have a conversation regardless.
When I do my consultations, I'll ask my client, "How do you prefer to be contacted?" And a lot say, "Just text me. I don't want to talk on the phone." And I'm the type of person, I want to talk on the phone. Like, instead of looking something up, I'll call somebody. And I do like to talk. I just struggle with initiating it, as I said before.
Problem, definitely.
But
An icebreaker. You need
Yeah.
a good icebreaker.
But I ask them, and they're like, "Yeah, I don't want to talk on the phone, but text me." And I'll call people, they'll not answer, and then they'll text me right back.
Well, I mean, I know I prefer text and email, written forms of communication over verbal, simply because I've got ADHD, and like I'll like blank out and I'll forget details, and I want to make sure I don't forget those details. So even after I have a conversation with somebody, if there's an important point, I'll either text them immediately after and confirm one of those details, or I'll ask them to please text me if I'm driving or something and I can't do it. But just so I have it in writing, and it's not because I don't want to engage them on a social level. It's mostly because I need
Record keeping.
Yeah, I need to keep track of stuff. And I hate to say, especially when I'm dealing with certain agents, it's just like I want that so I can have something to refer back to.
Well, yeah, definitely.
He said-
Business wise,
yeah.
yes, business wise, you definitely want something in writing. But like, I'm just saying on a normal, regular basis.
Right. But dealing with clients, most of the time, I do fall back to written forms of communication because I want to be able to remember the details.
I think for that purpose, most clients they would understand that and appreciate that. There's a time to talk on the phone, and there's a time for written communications for sure. All right, that was a great conversation, and I think that we'll probably try to bring this conversation back as often as possible. It's a good one. So finally, let's talk a little goals and accountability. Let's make this sort of a rapid fire. I just want everybody to give us a concrete goal that you are trying to achieve for the next week. Something specific and tied to maybe getting more business or getting more contact. Having more conversations. But something quick and off the cuff. I'll go back around. We'll go back to my left again. Cody.
Just what we spoke about, working on conversation with whether it's a stranger or sphere of influence or whatever.
So give me a number that you achieve in the next week.
2 a day.
2 a day. All right. Good.
My goal is that I've got potentially 2 open houses this weekend, and during those open houses, I want to connect with a minimum of 4 people that I can start engaging with, whether it's assisting them buying a home or at least engaging them on a level so that potential future business.
Establish a relationship.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%.
Good. So 4 relationships.
4 new relationships.
Okay. Connor.
Just better time management, like setting aside more time to focus on real estate and prospecting and that.
So give me a number of hours this week that you're going to set.
I could do like an extra hour a day. I feel like that help a lot.
Okay. Good.
I would like to have 1 new listing and 2 new buyers.
Good. And just for the sake of conversation, we know that there's going to need to be some activity that has to take place in order to achieve. Good.
I would like to prospect a few desired areas for some of my clients. They have been looking for a house for a while now. No luck, so I do want to go out door knocking, start up conversations, write a few letters to some houses I know that they're interested in.
Okay, so give me the number of clients.
2.
2 clients. And so in this next week, how many neighborhoods are you going to hit?
I want to say at least a neighborhood a day. So
Okay.
5.
And how many letters do you intend on writing?
I have 3 in mind right now.
Okay. Good. We'll follow up next week and see how that went for everybody. I am going to set the same or a similar goal for myself in creating 5 new relationships or establishing 5 new relationships, could even be reestablishing 5 new relationships that, from our perspective, that would require me to go in and massage their CRM or their contact record, whether I'm getting new contact information, a new address, or whatever it is. But 5 new touches that require me to massage their data in our records. That is my goal. So, all right. So, I want to try to wrap this up in some little motivational thing that we can move forward with this week. But it's the 4th quarter, and we can use that figuratively or literally. We can say it's the 4th quarter of the game, but it is the fourth quarter of our year, and we talked about this last time. What we do now isn't really for the rest of this year. What we're doing right now is really to start off 2024 or 2025 on a strong note. So I want you with an eye. If you have, we're going to be business planning here soon, but just remember that what you're doing right now will impact 2025 much more than it's going to impact 2024. And if you want to have a successful 2025, it must get off to a good start. So all the things that we have over time practiced and ingested as far as knowledge goes, it's time to put that into practice. And along with business planning, we will be doing more of the scripting training and getting comfortable with conversations. Forward will be big on our list again. But yeah, go forth and build your business and build relationships. That is the goal. Anybody have any closing thoughts for us as we outro out of this huddle? None. Brian started to look like he had something.
Yeah, but you told me you want to make this family friendly. So.
Okay, all right. Well, then we're gonna take that and roll out of here.